Welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about redefining femininity.
Mm,
Spicy in our time and age.
yeah,
This era, this generation, and all its challenges and
that's
all
such
that.
a sticky topic,
It is,
because we're in such a new time that you don't know what to expect nowadays
most definitely.
and it's so scary.
And where we live, there's a lot of var- variety of backgrounds
Yeah,
that for everybody it's different.
the diversity
And the way you were raised and the way your parents were raised and all that.
and what to expect from yourself and your future is really important.
Exactly.
I personally feel like all women are not included in this, but I feel like majority of women live in this constant competition with invisible people. And when I say invisible, it's literally the other person who they're competing with is on social media. Like,
Which is all fake,
it's all fake.
by the way.
All fake. All fake. It's so crazy to me how, we're in times now where you have to check your phone
Right when you wake up.
right when you wake up to see, okay, what is Fulanita doing? So I can, like, up that.
Or how many likes have I gotten within the last few?
I mean, unless you're running a business, the audience
I don't know, but
shouldn't matter.
right. But aside from that,
Yeah.
it's a very, I don't want to say fascist because that's kind of like a very general word.
Vague. Yeah.
Yeah. But superficial.
It is.
Superficial. Like the word super, like in caps.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, what do you have that I want to even consider?
Or
And
what do I want from what you have? Because some people don't even know what they want until they see it on somebody else.
exactly. And that goes with relationships, with friendships, with everything. Nowadays, I take my daughter to the park and I hear these conversations from other women. And it's very like, oh no, because I do this and I do that and this and that. And then como que like the other one tries como que
To
irle por arriba.
But you noticed people don't listen. They wait until you're done talking to tell you what they want you to hear,
Exactly.
which I don't understand because that's not a conversation. That's like when you're standing in the podium to do a speech and each
It's
of
a
us have
debate.
our own right.
It's a debate. Yeah. It's not even a conversation. It's a debate without it being like towards each other. It's kind of like, oh, you have a dog? Well, I have two. Or mine's cost me $5,000. Oh no, mine's cost me $10.
Or mine goes to this school and it's already accepted in that school, and then I'm
Like,
just
girl,
relax. Mine's just starting BBK,
what do you say about like like these women that cosmetic surgery is a big,
especially down here. I
especially
feel like down here it's a hype. I don't know about in any other state because I haven't heard stuff like that in any other
no, well, they
state.
come down here to get it done because this is where it is here in California. So, I mean, personally, I have nothing against cosmetic surgery at all.
No,
I personally,
but I don't think it's a use for me to feel better for others.
oh no, no, no.
There's a difference between doing it to feel better
For yourself.
which is totally fine. You don't have to, because the reality is, once you go through certain things in life, either childbirth or
Weight
you gain weight, you lose weight. Like me, I lose the weight more. It's more difficult than gaining it. So with that gain and lose and gain and lose, I have stretch marks, I have loose skin, and that happens to everybody. But there's also trauma related cosmetic surgery. There's health related, like with breast cancer, with an accident, with a burn.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different reasons why you would be getting cosmetic surgery.
Mija, tú no ves que aquí todo el mundo se sabe el 305-264-9636. This is not a sponsor and I'm not promoting them. Pero if they,
Es que no hay una persona que yo empiece la canción y no la sepa terminar.
it's como que like, tell me you're from Miami.
Yeah, I'm from Miami.
You're from Miami without telling me you're from Miami. It's like Dios libre, a mí me ponen, like, they tell me, give me a phone number to call right now. 305-1244.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's
I don't know my class number, but I know that.
like, that's embarrassing. Like, what is that? That's so funny. For me personally, like, I would want to get something done for myself, but for myself. Because even though people tell me, oh my God, you look so good, you lost so much weight, and it's true, I'm back at pre-baby weight right now,
Hard.
which is really hard. Um, but I still would like to, como dicen, hacerme un retoquito. Of course. Pero es para mí. No es por más nadie, ni es porque yo quiera lucirme para la
But people confuse losing weight with, como dicen,
yeah.
losing weight does not mean that you're going to go back to what it actually was before. Even if you had a kid before that, your body's changing twice.
Aquí vamos. Van y se hacen la cirugía.
Y después vuelven a notar.
Y no se cuidan la boca. Pero ¿cómo tú vas a hacer un investment de 5, 6, 8, 10, $15,000 más?
But I'll tell you what I heard one time. Yo me voy a ver más olivo ya.
It's like an addiction.
And I'm just like, pero why risk it again? You're going under the knife again. Pero la gente no lo ven así porque lo ven como un entra y sale. Like an In-N-Out. Like an In-N-Out burger. That's how I think of it when I hear people say,
And then they eat a burger.
I mean, basically it's an In-N-Out and then burger. But that's what I hear when I hear people talk like that, because they think of it as like, eso es un retoquito y ya. No, that's surgery.
No. I've never gotten anything done.
No, I've never had surgery in my life.
Cosmetic wise. Yo estoy al 100. No como Dios me trajo, porque Dios me trajo 7 libras, 8, 11. Pero yo estoy al 100. No tengo nada. La única cirugía fue la más reciente, when I gave birth to my son.
Right, that you did
Oh, the doctor. Pica. Remove all that shit. And that wasn't even paper.
They weren't going to let me do it.
I don't understand that. That's crazy. Anyways. Yo, personalmente, pienso, el momento que yo vaya a invertir, and I'm going to give $8,000, I'm going to make sure that I'm taking care of my body afterwards.
Yeah.
I
can't say the same though. And I'm not saying it because I'll go back under the knife. I'm saying it because I can't promise you that.
I mean, I can literally sit here and tell you, like, I would try my best not to how I'm now.
Of course, I would do.
I'm not gonna limit myself from eating what I want.
No, that's not. But that's not what I. No, yes, but that's not what I mean. What I mean is, hormonally, I don't. When I'm affected hormonally, I'm affected mentally.
Yeah.
So I can tell you and sit here now and be like, I'm gonna start tomorrow, for sure. Me levanto mañana and I'm like,
yeah,
I guess.
Maybe.
Literally.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bueno.
But that goes into other things.
Eso tienes que tener mucha
Super cuidado.
voluntad.
Super.
Y un régimen.
When I was juicing, at the beginning, yeah. At the middle, yeah. And at the end. Like, it was never easy.
No. It's not easy.
What I did notice was que le empecé a coger asco muchas cosas.
Porque ya tu cuerpo no lo tenías en tu cuerpo.
Like, really sweet things. Like, yo no como donuts anymore. Like that. Like,
yeah.
And if I do, minimum, tiene que ser un lugar que es minimum glazed. Y porque me antojé una vez al año.
Entonces, es lo que te digo.
Eso que yo comía antes, dulce, fruta bomba, arroz con leche, stuff like that. I don't really fuck with like that. Sodas are another one. That's what I have. Sodas I don't do like that. The gassiness of it, it's not the same like with the sparkling water.
Oh, bueno, it doesn't have 1,000 other.
No, the gassy feeling. I don't feel it the same with the soda than with the sparkling water. And then like greasy foods, I do this now, but I can't do it often. The way I cook my food is different. Everything.
Yeah. The way that we look as a woman, it should be only important to you. Because I go online and I see a lot of women, all different body types, and I'm like, you can tell when they have confidence
Even when they're not skinny.
All body types.
Yeah.
It does not matter. You can tell when they have confidence, and then you can tell the ones that are just doing it.
Because they want the acceptance, yeah, like they want to feel like they're good enough.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I feel like, to each his own. I particularly don't care so much for like subtlety approval.
Yeah.
Anybody's approval, to be honest. Like,
Yeah. Si fuera por mí, I don't even have to go to the gym. Okay. I look fine the way I am.
no. Pero yo pienso que como mujer, uno tiene el derecho hoy en día, porque si vamos a hablar de las generaciones, like, way back days, like, girl, like, the way that you couldn't have, like, one older,
Right. And that's a lot of why
and that's, like, a very much redefined. I feel like now, I don't know if you noticed, but
we went from like this to like,
we went from stay in your lane to big, bold, and bitchy. And I'm noticing a lot of women now. I can probably include myself in that. It's like, why did we even start to begin with? Like, we didn't even need all this power. I don't know if
because we're tired, because we are the masculine side of femininity, which a lot of women don't like to talk about when it comes to being feminine. One, because we saw it growing up,
but it was kind of like,
because our mothers had to be masculine.
right?
And as we see that, we mimic that.
Exactly.
Because one, we don't want to be seen in the same situation. And there's a sense of when there is no not control, because control is not the right word, but stability,
Okay.
or it goes back to being feeling ¿cómo sabes cuál es la palabra que we were using? Feeling como que you're confident in yourself. When a man is not fully confident in his masculine, you have to double down on it.
You had to put up with lessons. You literally had to, like, okay, so
But I feel like I
yourself.
wouldn't be able to deal with,
Let's-
because I'm very strong minded about my choices.
I feel like our generation now, a lot of the women that I've seen and that I have encounters with, I feel like from our age and our generation can potentially live a double life, I guess,
Yeah,
where personally I don't have a problem attending my home, my children, and my man.
absolutely not.
As long as he's doing what he has to do
Mutual respect.
as a man, and I'm also able to have that liberty if I wanted to go out to the field and work and evolve and become, which we
Which is what people
60,
confuse.
70 years ago, you didn't have that choice. You were home. That's it.
And this is
worked out
why a lot of mariners don't work. They want to take marriage and make it a prison.
No.
When marriage should be a friendship.
Exactly.
Which is why me and Leo work very well. Because a lot of the times when we first started dating, a lot of people wouldn't think of us as a couple. Because we would bicker like friends, or we would just be chilling somewhere and tú no nos veía uno arriba del otro, like PDA. I don't mind it, but it's not a thing for me. So for me, if it wasn't based on a vibe where we can just flow, like we can literally talk about, I can literally tell him like, oh, mira qué bonita. And I don't get that mobo that he's looking at her that way. He might be, but he doesn't physically, like, se le caen los ojos mirándola. You know what I mean? Or he can tell me I can tell him the same thing about a male and it wouldn't be that, like, oh, why are you looking at him? Blah, blah, blah. There has to be a trust and a friendship. If there's no trust and friendship, there is nothing.
There's nothing else. It's a balance.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a balance. I feel like every category in your life, la casa, un balance. Being parents, un balance. Being a couple, un balance. Being family members to your family, should be como un balance. So I can't fully do everything.
Exactly.
Como mujer, tú tienes que set un boundary. Like, hey, listen,
I'm a wife, but I'm also a woman.
I'm a woman, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister.
But besides all of that, mom, sister, daughter, I'm a woman. So you have to learn how to balance with everybody else.
And learn how to say no.
Yeah, but then there also comes that new trend now that women want to be toxic. That I don't really get there.
You know what's so funny? That
You want to be free, but you don't
I
want to allow it for your partner.
Oh, what?
That toxic, you know what I mean? Like that toxic thing where.
I saw a TikTok about that.
Yeah.
I saw a girl on TikTok.
Son de esas que hablan así como que yo.
Que yo puedo hacer, pero mi marido no puede.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm invested. I want to know what you're talking about.
I don't get that.
Yo puedo ir a comer con mis amigas,
Pero él no.
no puede. Okay.
I was like.
Yo puedo, mi marido no puede. And I was like.
Or they'll check their wallet to see if there's cash, and they'll take out the cash and leave the card so they can trace what they buy when they go out with friends. Como que no hay un trace with cash, pero con la tarjeta así. And I'm just like, if only you knew that their friends could give them cash and you would never find out.
Yo no tengo la energía. Eso es vivir en un infierno.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't.
Mi mamá siempre me dijo.
I can't.
Siempre me dijo. El que busca,
encuentra.
Cuando busque, ten los maletines en la puerta porque vas a encontrar.
O cállate la boca.
That's it.
If you're not ready to leave, don't confront.
Exactly. Or don't look if you're not ready to leave. When you're ready to leave, start looking so you can find a reason to leave. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
But I feel like people in their mind, they're like, oh, if I catch them, I'm out. Y cuando they catch them, they're like,
no, they just want to.
But I'm comfortable. And that's another part of women and femininity and all of this. The determination while you're looking at what's going on, and then when you're face to face with the actual, you're like, but I'm comfortable, or he makes good money.
Why'd you look for it? Why'd you look for it? Because
that's why I count.
Is this. If I sit here and I wait till my husband is asleep and I grab his phone and I start looking, I start judging, and I find I brought that upon myself. Ahora, si a mí me llega un mensaje, si a mí me llega,
I never remember doing that when I was young.
Si a mí me llega un mensaje con un screenshot, con una foto, because that's another thing. Don't call me person. Don't call my phone. I just saw your man and this girl.
Okay.
You got a picture? You got a video? You got proof? You got CCTV cameras?
No, don't call me at all.
Don't call me with that bullshit if you don't have.
No, don't call me at all.
Preferably, don't call me at all.
Don't call me at all.
But if you are gonna, there's people that do that shit.
Don't call me at all.
Do that. Come with receipts.
Best believe que si yo me quiero enterar, yo me entero. Because even without even trying, yo me entero.
Con los ojos abiertos, lo veo con los ojos cerrados y
that's where I'm going at. Aún yo no queriendo enterarme de las cosas, yo me entero. Imagine if I wanted to. You don't have to call me. There's always a reason. Cosas que people have done or said, or even exes of mine, and yo me entero sin buscarlo. Don't call me.
So, setting boundaries as a woman is very important, not only in relationships, but also in friendships. I've seen a lot of women, like in their girlfriend relationships, like with their friends, where they don't know how to just like say no. That used to be me. Really? Yeah. You were like, a yes girl.
Not technically like a yes girl. I'm always down for everything. That's
Right,
the point. But I was always the one to go to the extent and not get that in return.
I see what you're saying.
And it's not because I do it for that, because I never do it for that. I really don't care what I do it for.
But it's nice to feel.
I do it because I feel good. But when it came to me needing a shoulder, me needing someone on the phone, or call me at whatever time, or voy para allá, I didn't have that. Yeah. For a long time.
I feel like
to the point where I didn't have friends for a long time. Because every time I would try, I would be the giver. And I was never the receiver.
You know that I've had like, I have several stories, like when it comes to like friendships, like Like I said, I'm a chameleon. Like I'm still a chameleon. Like you can put me in any setting and I'll adjust. Yeah. But at the same time, I personally feel like there's a difference between me knowing a lot of people and me being friends with a lot of people.
Yeah, no.
I know a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I have a casual relationship with a lot of people. The commenting, the yes, girl, you look great.
Right.
Oh my God, I love that.
Amistades. Pero
Exactly.
no amigos.
Right. Exactly. So personally, and that's just a whole conversation for another day, but setting boundaries as a woman in all settings, in your personal life, work,
Especially
work,
is the hardest one.
you have these women that they did 20,000 roles in their jobs because they don't know how to say no.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of the market. Okay, well, if you won't do it, then I'll hire the next one, and it's
There's
like
someone else behind you.
the job security, and it's like, honey, listen, no, this one is a lot more important than this one.
Absolutely.
Your sanity is more important than the money. Being in a toxic work environment can take a toll on you.
And it's not even that. It's there. It could be a non-toxic. I've worked in really good environments at the job. It's they don't want to pay someone else.
Right, and they throw the load on you.
Right. So, and it's not just throw the load. It's the fact that they ask, but you don't understand how to delegate.
You don't know how to say no.
Right. But a lot of people don't know how to delegate. They don't know how to ask for help or say, I'm drowning.
Exactly.
In not just work,
in life,
in housework. Because now that I'm home, the only reason I'm able to delegate is because my stepson wants chores to make an allowance. If not, it wouldn't be something that I'm like, you need to do this. His only thing would be take out the dog. Yeah. Pero si no, it's just like, it's an automatic. Yeah. I do it.
Yeah.
I don't tener que estar like,
and that's
pick up your shoes.
That's heavy on me.
Pick up your shoes. Pick up your shoes. Vas como la 10 la décima vez que you say, oh, pick up your shoes. Or go take a shower. Cuando tú das la vuelta, que vuelves a abrirle la puerta, he's still laying on the bed watching his tablet. Like, did I not just tell you que te vayas a bañar? Yeah. Or do I have to turn off the internet?
Yeah, it's really important to know how to like delegate
the mental
specific stuff throughout your life.
A chore turn. I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah, but just in general, at work, professionally. No, I'm not gonna. I can't do that right now.
In friendships too.
That's what I'm saying. In friendships too.
Yeah, because sometimes we want to be the ones to show up, but we don't wait for them to do it for us.
But then you get that guilt when you don't do certain things.
Absolutely.
You get
because
that guilt.
Again, that was me. Como que if I know and I see it, I'm gonna help. But then they would come here or wherever I was living.
That time frame, yeah.
And they would see, they would notice, and wouldn't say anything. Mm-hmm. Like since eso todo me pasó around 2020.
Yeah.
Where I just cut off a lot of my friends. And not to say, but all of them.
Yeah.
Like I don't hang out with maybe my sister-in-law and her man.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Pero son gente que they're not friends anymore.
Yeah, that's family at this point.
Yeah. Because him and Leo are best friends, but that's my kid's bump with it.
Yeah.
That's a whole different story. And those are people that, regardless of what they do, you treat them like family.
Exactly.
You're gonna figure out a way around it. Exactly. Pero friends like that, since 2020, I don't.
And it sucks because when you decide to set up that boundary, you end up being the bad guy.
I don't care.
No, I don't care either.
Mm-hmm. But it's the truth.
Yes, it's the truth.
Absolutely. I am
you
the bad guy.
end up being the bad guy when you set that boundary and you say, no, I can't do this, or no, I can't, I'm not going to go, or I'm not going to go and I'm not going to book that trip, or I'm not, whatever it is that's outside of your comfort zone, you're going to end up being the guy, ay, qué pesada, like, oh my gosh, she's being a brat, oh my God, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that. It's just sometimes you just have to say no for your own sanity. Same for work, same for your relationship, and same for family.
That's the hardest.
Our culture is very
direct. Because I'll say no to anybody,
Mhm.
but because there's the backlash of like why. So because at work I don't have to tell you why. As a friend I don't have to tell you why. But as a family finds a way to be entitled to the why. Yeah. And I just started saying because I said so. Yeah. Like I don't have to tell you why.
It's so funny because, but it's not funny. Not funny at all.
Funny now,
but funny now when you think about it. But in the moment, it's not funny because you're left in that mental state of like, what the fuck. But in my scenario in specific, my family, my mom's side of the family, it's like my grandma only had 2 daughters, and then we're a small family. Like we're extendedly, we're large.
Your cousins and all that.
Right. Extended family, we're large. Internal, we're very small. And then my dad's side of the family, he had more siblings, so there's more cousins and more this, but everybody was like the long distance, so it's not like I really grew up with them. Mm-hmm. So I set my boundary the moment I had kids. I think that's when it happens. For me, it was the moment that I had kids. I set my boundary. How did I set my boundaries? I removed you from my life. No if, what, buts, and maybe. And if I see you tomorrow, I don't gotta talk about it, but if I feel like talking about it, I might talk about it. Because
if I have to talk about it.
No, I don't have to talk about it.
No, in the sense that if me internally, like for me, if I have to, I will. Not because I have to, because you want me to. Yeah. Like if me mentally, I need to tell you something, I'm gonna tell you.
I probably would say something just to kind of like clear that page and just.
Like I said,
for me, it's a closed book.
Y te dicen 3 o 4 cosas y ya después se le pasó. That's me.
Porque es que lo tenías ahí. Ya, hay que saberlo. Ya. Exactamente. A mí no se me va a dar la oportunidad. A mí no se me va a dar la oportunidad. Como decir, tan fácil porque esas personas no viven tan cerca a mí.
Right.
Pero si el destino y la vida wants me to blur it out,
I will.
When my moment comes, I will.
Absolutely.
Because I'm going to make sure that you know why you're blocked everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a boundary that I set. Is it too harsh? Maybe. I don't care. That's just the way I'm saying no.
And if they do think it's too harsh, then you need to analyze what it is that caused it. Because why is it too harsh, but what you're doing is okay? So there has to be that, like, verle la dos caras a la página, because
I have I guess one of my toxic traits, right? One of my toxic traits is if something happens between me and a person, depending on what the relationship is with me and that person, is depending how I will react. I will say something. For example, for a husband of mine, he's gonna get the full blown, boom, boom, there,
same,
whatever. Anybody else that don't live with me, I might not say nothing.
And it depends who the person is.
I might not say nothing. I'm gonna take it all in. I'm gonna run my course. I'm gonna go through my emotions. And yo solita me desprendo de ese dolor. Pero eso todavía está aquí.
Yeah, that's my problem.
And then if it ever comes up, you're gonna be like, what are you even talking about? Maybe on September 29th, 1976, at 7:30 p.m. on Palm Ave 3rd Street.
This is why we're gonna be friends for a long time, because that's not me. Yo te lo voy a decir en el moment. I don't care who you are, what the relationship is. If it bothers me, yo me quedo ahí.
I'm not confrontational.
I don't like to say confrontational because tampoco, I'm not gonna.
No, it doesn't have to be an argument, but like that's a confrontational personality.
No, then I am.
Yeah, I'm not confrontational. You know why I don't like to be confrontational? I could be, but I don't like to be confrontational because esta no piensa con esta. Y cuando esta se habla.
But my grandma always tells me,
and I'm a hit
con la edad, con la experiencia, tú vas
cambiando. Ya ahora.
No, me.
Whatever.
Because yo tengo what is that shit called? When
anger management?
No, que tú hablas and it's just like
okay, blah, blah,
blah, baborrea.
You go on and on and on and on.
No, que I just don't, como que it comes out. Mm-hmm. I don't have
a filter.
Right. So if it bothers me, I'm gonna tell you then and there. Because if not, I'm gonna leave and I'm just gonna be like 100 different scenarios and like of why it happened.
I hate when I have good answers after the argument.
Me too. Like I replay the argument and then I'm like,
matter of fact, this isn't that.
But in the moment, I have to tell you. I guess because I'm gonna get more and more worked up, and then it's gonna be where a simple argument is gonna cause something worse. And then, como que la gente. You know what? A mí nunca me ha gustado que sacarle las cosas a la gente.
A mí no, yo no saco las cosas en cara. Yo te estoy hablando de algo que tú me hiciste a mí, no algo que, yo hice algo por ti. Sí, no,
but I avoid.
Sí, pero, a ver, yo pienso.
Not deplete the focus of what bothers you.
Yeah. I can't tell you, oh, hey, Jenny, look, I didn't like the way you poured my wine.
Right.
But no te voy a sacar ahora that, remember, I'm the one that brought you the wine, so you need to pour. No. That's two different things. I brought the bottle, you served me, I didn't like the way you served me. Let's stay to the fact that I didn't like the way you served me.
Like the build up. Because después estás encabronada y entonces you built it up.
You lose your focus.
Yes.
Yeah, I get
porque ya después todo molesta.
That's something that I guess. I mean, maldita, I need to work on it. You know.
It's just the way I've learned how to deal with my overthinking.
Yeah.
Because that's really bad for. I'll leave. A veces me and Leo have like little, because we always bicker about something stupid.
Yeah.
But that little stupid bicker, if I don't say it at the moment, empiezo. Porque mira, yo olvido dejar los zapatos tirados.
No, everything.
Like everything is a build up.
The zapatos might be there for a week before the argument, and when you notice it is after the argument, and that's the biggest problem.
When, por ejemplo, if you build it up, porque a veces me pasa with Leo, just because I'm not an arguer. I don't like to fight. And if I leave it, después when we're arguing, it's like, no. Because 2 weekends ago, you went to go play baseball, and then you went to your homeboy's house, but you couldn't come home.
Exactly.
And then he's like, okay, but that's not.
But that was 2 weeks ago.
Are we arguing about that? Or are we arguing about the fact that that thing bothered you at that moment?
Exactly.
So I've learned that especially with men.
Yeah.
Talk about what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
So it can stay focused on that issue in that moment. Even though they'll forget it the next day. But you're not talking about because
tomorrow we'll talk about it again.
Before, and then that month, and then that year, and then they're like.
I guess one other. Gosh, I'm just unlocking all my traumas today. I guess one of the other factors of why I don't like the confrontation and why I try to just let it como que run its course is because I get emotional too fast. And my first thought is, I would have not done that to you.
Yeah.
And that's the bother.
Yeah.
I would not.
But what else would be the bother? To me, the most important bother would be I could never.
Right. I could never.
Because I could never see myself putting anyone in that position.
I could never. Purposely? On purpose? I could never.
Pero esto me pasó cuando yo metí a la niña. If it were the other way around, I could never. Yeah. I could never just bounce and be like, okay, this is not about me.
Yeah.
Or I feel uncomfortable.
Setting boundaries in friendship is really important in work, in family, in relationships as, friends and whatever.
Relationship. Even a stranger.
Even with your kids. Even with your kids. Like, this is a generalized conversation, but even with your kids, we have to set boundaries. No means no.
Yep.
That's it. And it's just, it goes on to that. So, what are your thoughts? Well, I already heard your thoughts, but
you heard enough of my thoughts.
Enough of your thoughts. You have, what is it that you said that you have?
Baorrea. Baorrea. This is something my grandma taught me. Okay? I don't know if it's a real word.
I don't know. So, what are your thoughts on this? How did you redefine your femininity? At what point did you say, okay, this is enough? Like,
I want this.
Period. Rolling on to our new segment. We have been talking about this for so long, the Real Talk submissions. And we actually have a submission. We have our first submission. Ooh. Bing boom.
It's not copyright.
So here we have.
Let's not get super copyright.
Janine, please. We're trying to be la más virales también. Okay, so in today's Real Talk submission segment, we actually had a quick story or a quick comment So here we are. Let me pull it up. All right. So this anonymous viewer has allowed us to share this comment, and we're just gonna give our feedback on it. So it says, "My love after a breakup. Love those. I thought he was the love of my life. When it ended, I didn't think I'd survive. But it's been 2 years and I finally feel free. I'm falling back in love, and this time it's with me." Love that for her. And honestly, that's the best relationship I've ever had. Love that. I think that's beautiful. We lose ourselves.
Oh yeah.
We lose ourselves.
Not even as forget about the mom part.
No. As a woman,
relationship.
as a woman, you lose yourself,
Especially at the beginning. Because you're so
in the
much in the
honeymoon,
lust
in the honeymoon
that you're
stage.
okay with like modifying things
Exactly.
to make it like pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And honestly, I love that because once you recenter yourself, you find new things that you love, you find new hobbies, and etc.
Things about yourself you never knew existed.
And you start liking things about yourself, like
That
old
you used to
traits
do.
and old stuff, and you know where to set your boundary for the next relationship, whenever it is. No rush, but you know you're gonna go in with a big expectation.
And pay attention. It says it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
So best believe that this falling back in love with herself
Took her time.
was not immediate.
No, of course not. She had.
There's a sense of grief that she had to go through. Losing him, losing her, losing the relationship, losing being comfortable in a space, because some relationships don't continue because of that love. They continue because of being comfortable.
Preach.
Being already knowing what to expect.
Exactly.
Because we are creatures of control, even though we have zero. Exactly. It's just a part of our imagination.
Exactly.
But
I love that she fell back in love, and this time it was with her, with herself.
That's how you know that her next relationship is gonna be different.
Oh, baby!
And for her to find someone,
the next person, we don't know what's going on, but the next person,
I know. For her to find someone that's gonna be at her level,
yeah,
that's gonna be hard.
Yeah. So keep working on yourself.
Definitely.
Don't take anything less than what you want. And honestly, always. Oh yeah, pros and cons.
What she want. Forget about what she don't want.
Vision board.
Vision board.
La cara, el pelo, el cuerpo, todo. Si tiene un perro, ¿qué tipo de perro? Si vive, ¿qué tipo de carro? ¿Qué tipo de carro? Si dónde vive, en una casa, un apartamento, ¿dónde? ¿En Brigham o en Corregueros? Vision board. I need you. MS-20, that's what you put, MS-20. I need you to vision board. Yeah. And please send it back anonymously. For real. If we find them, we'll send them your way. Send them your way. But yeah, if you're in a relationship and you feel like, no, don't settle.
Because all that hard work to then settle again.
And if you're gonna settle in a healthy where you want to settle. Because
yeah.
Like, there's a settling that you have no choice, and there's a settling that you create, like you build your
because it's the closest to what you want.
Exactly.
No, because esto lo primero que vino y ya.
Exactly. So, please keep working on yourself. Don't lose focus. Whoever is your next significant other is going to come along and match your energy, and that's what we want. Praying for that. Don't be afraid to say no. Keep your head up high.
I got one of those Chinese little
I saw it today.
Say yes.
Say yes. Say yes.
There you go.
Say yes. To the ring, to the dress, to I don't know what you're gonna say yes to, ma'am.
I don't say that in my near picture.
No. Stop it. Stop. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of today. Please leave us your comments, your thoughts, any suggestions for the next episode.
And more stories.
More stories, please, guys. The link in our bio. Go to the link in our bio. You're going to see our Linktree link. Scroll towards the bottom, and it's called Real Talk Submission. Baby, throw it out. Engage with us just so that we can provide what you want to see and what you want to hear in
this podcast made with love. And remember, this is your mic as well. These are your stories. Share whatever you feel like you want to share. Funny, crazy, encouraging, like this one. If it's a sentimental story, you're more than welcome. If it's private, again, this is anonymous. We have no idea who it is. So you're more than free to share your thoughts and anything with us. And venting, whatever. Yeah, let your heart out. So this wraps up today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed and got to get a lot of advice from today's episode. Remember to keep your solid no, put up a boundary, and pre-find yourself. And remember, we're in this together. No estás sola, and let's get our pink back. Bye.